What's up, everybody out there on Facebook? We're live right now, talking topics with the three amigos. Let me start off. I got to take a few minutes because I've spent the past hour and a half thinking and listening. Now, you know, we all have plans and we all have dreams. But the question I've got for you is, and you gotta give me a minute because honestly, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been pretty emotional because my eyes are all welled up, cried a little bit, really went somewhere with myself, kind of had to refocus this whole thing because I had planned on doing a show and Christina and Kyle are unable to today, so I'm going about it by myself. And I had the topic already and I knew what I was going to do, but about an hour and a half ago, I started listening to Steve Harvey and Inky Johnson. Now, I've seen everything I could find on Steve Harvey, and I've basically listened to every motivational speech he's ever done, everything I could get my hands on. But this young man, Inky Johnson, is a whole different character. You see, I gotta be honest about a couple things. I try really hard to have a positive outlook on life as much as I can. Because hey, Cindy, I'm one of those people that 9 times out of 10, I'm upbeat. Okay, there are days, we all have days where we're down, we all have days where we're upset. Steve Harvey told a story, and in the caption, it was a speech that made Oprah Winfrey cry. And I've probably seen this speech 30 times. And I called Miss Winnie right in the middle of it. I, God brought me to it again. I said, why are you bringing me to this again? What do you want me to get out of this? I don't understand. Why am I watching this again? I've seen this 30 times. When you are at the end of your rope and you have a dream that you've dreamt about and know where you want to go, you have one topic, one thought, one plan, one piece, and your back is against the wall. What do you do? What do you do when things don't go according to plan? And I'm going to give just a little bit of background, and I'm going to be honest. I don't know how long this show is going to go. This show might be the longest show I've ever done on Facebook. Might be the shortest. I don't know. I'm going to talk and say what's on my heart and go with what's on my heart till I can't go no more. So Steve Harvey was in Florida and he had $35 to his name. He was broke, down on his luck. That's all he had. And he knew what he wanted to do. He knew what his dream was. So he called out to God. He called and he checked his messages at home. Back in the day, when you had the regular answer machine, you could put a code in and check your messages. Well, he got a message that they had a spot on Showtime at the Apollo if he could get there. Okay, they received a tape of Steve Harvey and thought he was very funny and wanted him to perform at Showtime at the Apollo, but had to get to New York. He said, I can't get there. So he was crushed. He didn't have a way to get there. He didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, nothing. Didn't see anything at all. So he was going to call the guy back and see if they meant this Sunday or next Sunday, because he said, if it's next Sunday, maybe I can get a little bit more money and somehow I can get there. So he called the guy back. He said, Steve, we got a tape of you, Mr. Harvey. We thought you were really funny. We want to you to show up this Sunday if you can get here. The spot's yours. Steve said tears were coming down his face. Steve Harvey said, I was crying so hard. I didn't know what to do. I said, come on, God. I said, I can't even. This is my dream, and I can't even get there. While he was on the phone, he heard, boop. He had another message. And it was a guy that said, we have an opening in Pensacola, Florida. If you can come down, it was Thursday. If you can come down Friday night, we'll give you $150 for you to come down Friday night and perform. He was 3 hours away. And he got down there and he killed it. I mean, Steve Harvey blew that crowd away, got the $150. He said, man, we're going to give you the $150. He said, but if you'll stay tomorrow, Saturday, you're hired. You're funnier than the guy we hired. We'll pay you another $150 to stay tomorrow and perform tomorrow night. So let me explain something. Let's look at this now. So he got $150 the first night. He performed and got got $150 the second night. So he called the airline. The airline that was back in the day had a $99 round trip special. So he flew to New York, called the guy back, the Showtime at the Apollo, and he said, is the gig still available? He said, yes, sir. We got one slot left. He said, I'll be there. Steve Harvey got the last slot on Showtime at the Apollo. So he flew down to New York and went to Showtime at the Apollo, got there, and he had everything he owned was in 2 bags. Now keep in mind, he had $300. He spent $99 to get to New York. He gets to Showtime at the Apollo and he asked the guy, guy told him, you can't stay here. He said, look, man, I ain't got nowhere else to go. I'm in Harlem. I got these 2 bags. He said, if I step outside these doors with these 2 bags, I'm a victim waiting to happen. He said, if you let me just stay here, I ain't gonna make no noise. I ain't gonna go nowhere. I ain't gonna do nothing, because I don't go on till 11 o'clock at night. So the guy says, all right, if you go up these stairs, don't come down. So it was about, he had been up the stairs with all the comedians. They put him in a dressing room on the 6th floor. And basically, he was in the dressing room about 3 o'clock. He got hungry. He couldn't take it no more. He went downstairs. He said, look, I thought I told you not to come down these stairs. He said, listen, man. He said, I'm just hungry. He said, just let me go down to this KFC on the corner. I'll be right back. Let me just get some chicken. I'll be all right. So he went. He said, all right, if you ain't back in 20 minutes, you ain't going to be on the show. So he went, got the chicken, came back, went up to his room, went up to the dressing room on the 6th floor where all the comedians came in. He met Dwayne Johnson, D.L. Hughley. He met Jamie Foxx. He introduced himself. None of them were famous at this time. Okay. They all were performing on Showtime at the Apollo. So at this time, about 7, 8 o'clock, that chicken's done worn off. Steve is hungry again, man. He's starving and he's starting to get nervous. Okay. Dwayne Johnson goes out, gets booed. D.L. Hughley goes out, gets booed. Jamie Foxx goes out, gets booed. Jamie Foxx is one of the funniest people in America, and he gets booed on Showtime the Apollo. Steve Harvey's breathing is erratic. He don't know what to do. His hands are shaking. His knees are shaking. He's so nervous he can't barely breathe. He had written this one joke where Mike Tyson had gotten into a fight, and he told the story. And in the story, Mike Tyson's eye gets swole up, and the eye ends up telling the story. So he's talking, and he does the voice for the eye, and the Apollo goes crazy. The Apollo goes absolutely nuts, goes completely, totally crazy. He made $750 that night. Now, I'm talking about this, and I'm telling this story, and I don't tell it as good as Steve Harvey does, so go and watch it. It's on YouTube. God will provide a way when it's what you're supposed to do. God has a path for you, but you have to choose to go. So what I'm talking about is when your back is up against the wall and something changes. When it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, what do you do? Do you stop? Because if you give up, two things are going to happen. You're destroying yourself and you're not letting your dream win. We all have choices in our lives. And every choice that we make is based on decisions that happen to us, usually. But so many times we often forget that God is in control. And I look at myself now. I went to school and I got 3.75 GPA in school, and I got a degree in communications and this, that, and the other. Went to college, and then I got a degree in I got broadcasting and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, man, I'm either going to be on the radio or get graphic design. Radio or graphic design. Desktop publishing. I can do anything I want to do. Graphic design, man. I went to school for all this. Got a great GPA, 3.75. Went to college. Graduated college. Got the R. Anderson. Got all the awards, all the accolades. Then you get out on your own and you realize life is hard. Getting a job in graphics design is hard because there's not a lot of big companies that hire. There's little ones, and you got to work and you got to find them, man. So I did some private stuff, and I worked for people, and I did stuff for people, and I lost a lot of money, bought a lot of inventory, man. And I'm just like, it's not working. Man, I wanted to get on the radio, and I had applied for radio jobs. So you don't drive and you can't do this. And man, you got the voice for it. You should be on the radio, but I can't help you, man. You got to be able to drive. when one door closes, another door opens. And I thought about this, man. I look at my life and I see where my life is, and I see where my life goes. And I look at the blessings that I have in my life. And one of the biggest blessings is CP. And not a lot of people understand that. You know, you can spend your whole life wondering why things happen to you, or you can accept them and go through life with what you got and be okay with it. And the reason I say that is for the first 15 years of my life, 14 years of my life, I was angry all the time. I wanted to be somebody different. I wanted to be that guy making all the money, the center of the room, the biggest part of the attention, have the biggest company, the biggest office, the biggest and the best. And I wanted to be the best of everything and better than everybody else. Then when I got out of college and life hit me, I realized I was renting a studio apartment in Waynesboro working at Walmart. It's something else I had to realize at that time. The opportunities that you're given, put your best foot forward. The opportunities that you have, I don't care if it's sweeping the floor. I don't care if it's working at Walmart. I don't care if it's cleaning the bathrooms in an industrial factory. Whatever opportunity you're given, you got to make the best of it at that time. Because the very next day, God can open a door for you. I was a door greeter in Waynesboro Walmart, and I was a good door greeter. I helped with returns, and I told people, where stuff was, and I always had a good personality, blah, blah, blah. But I got tired of it because I always felt like I was supposed to be somewhere else. I always felt like I was supposed to be somewhere different, like I wasn't in the right place. So I still did my job. I got my paycheck. I paid my rent, did what I was supposed to do, paid my bills, yada, yada, yada. I did everything I was supposed to do. But I was miserable on the inside because I felt like something was preventing me from being myself. Now, I don't know if y'all are able to grasp a hold of this or not, but I felt like I had lost something within myself. I couldn't reach what I was trying to reach. It was right there. So I went back to management. I said, listen, y'all need to use me in a better position. I don't want to just be a door greeter. So put me as a cashier. Let me do something. I don't want to just sit at a door. So I came back and I went to the garden center, and I worked in the garden center outside. But again, they put me at the door. And I got so frustrated with where I was because it was the same thing every single day. Welcome to Walmart. Nice to meet you. And glad to see you. This is here. This is here. This is here. And I did my job, and I did well. I worked in the Waynesboro Walmart. Then I got transferred to Stanton. I worked at Stanton Walmart. So I ended up quitting, and I put in a resume for Intelos, the phone company. My ex had the job there. I quit Walmart. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, I'll just go on disability, not realizing I quit my job. It takes a year to 2 years before you can even get on it. So I'm broke. I can't pay my rent. I'm calling my mom, don't know what to do, freaking out. I made the wrong decision. I quit too early. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm sitting on my bedside and I pray to God. I said, God, I need something I'm good at. The next job I get, I've got to be able to relate to it, to feel it. So I got called by Intelos. I went in for the interview, and it was a great interview. Got hired by the company that day. Went, did the P test, did all the stuff for the drug test. Got hired, and I worked for Intelos for 6 years for the phone company. I was their top salesman. I made them a bunch of money. Great commission. I was making $1,200 a week plus commission, bringing home, $1,400, $1,500 every 2 weeks, making great money. I said, man, this is it, man. I'm gonna be a manager here, but I'm in there and I'm a senior care rep, man. And that's as far as they would let me go. 6 years, I'm working, putting in for jobs, getting denied, putting in for jobs. And I started getting burned out. I said, Lord, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Not what I'm supposed to be doing. And I don't know what you had planned for me. I don't feel right. So my mom at this time, I'm in Waynesboro and I'm looking around trying to find stuff and I'm trying to find a job, my mom's calling me, when you going to come back home? You've been at Waynesboro too long. Come back home. Grandparents miss you. We miss you. We're going to see each other, blah, 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 blah. So I quit my job, and I quit my job January 15th, 2010, and left that job. Put in my 2 weeks notice, did my 2 weeks, went home, moved into a house. And I tried to figure things out. So I move home, and I get on disability. I go through all that crap, get new medical insurance. I start training in martial arts, man. I'm at Tiger Martial Arts, and I start training. I start losing weight. I find something that I like. I really enjoy martial arts, and I'm like, man, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm in there and I'm training, and for 11 years, I've trained. Black belt, made a black belt December 17th, 2015. Got married in 2015. Everything is working out the way it's supposed to work. Then all of a sudden, once I become black belt, things at Tiger don't work out the way they're supposed to go. Because I'm not, all of a sudden I feel held back. I feel like I'm struggling because I'm not teaching as much as I was. I had 2 private students. Both the students I had gave up, didn't want it, decided not to do it. No, they would stop showing up. I said, oh, what am I supposed to do? September 4 years ago, I'm in a thrift store. And I go to this thrift store 5-6 times a week. Love it. Get all kinds of new stuff, computers, blah, 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 build stuff. And I'm happy, but I'm not truly happy. I'm not able to fully be me, to fully understand what DJ is about. And I'm still seeking. I'm still searching. I'm still trying to find it. I'm still trying to get in the right spot. And I go over to the cords because I'm always in the electronic stuff. Love looking at electronics, TVs, and computers. And my roommate takes them apart and rebuilds them and does all this stuff. Really smart with computers. And we're looking, and oh my, this big dude. I meet him. And my name's Corey Wilson. My wife's member of Kelly's Choice. Yada 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 yada. And we talk for about 15 minutes. And I'm like, let go radio at the time. And I'm like, okay, great. So he gives me your card and I stick the card in my wallet. Now keep in mind, I still have this card in my wallet. To this very day. I carry this card in my wallet. And I'm excited, man. It will give you an opportunity to get you on the radio. You know, I'm all excited, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get on the radio. Here we go. Now we're talking. Now I done found it. Week goes by. I don't hear nothing. I said, no, DJ, you got to be patient, man. You got to wait. She's busy. She's a CEO and founder, blah, blah, blah. Give her time. You got to give her time. You got to give her time. You got to wait. You got to be patient. 2 weeks go by. Nothing. Third week on a Wednesday. I'm fighting with myself, man. I'm holding the card in my hand. I'm holding it in my hand. And that card is burning. That card is burning. And all at once, God said, all right, just call her. I said, no, I got to be patient. I got to wait. Then I got discouraged. Oh, she ain't going to call me, man. She's too busy. They must have, Mr. Wilson must not have liked it or whatever. It must not have worked. And something inside just said, call her. I felt it. So I called and I left a message. I said, Miss Wilson, this is Mr. Carter. Your husband came by, you know, in the Victory Home thrift store, blah, blah, blah. And we talked, and I would love to get, you know, together with you and maybe, you know, do a show, get on the radio. He talked about, you know, what your organization was. I really love it. I'm really interested to meet Kelly. And 2 days later, I got an email back from Miss Wilson about, you know, that somehow my email she had it pulled up, and then it either fell through the cracks or somehow or another it had gone through. She meant to reach out and something happened and then couldn't find the email, blah, blah, blah. So I had a chance to meet Kelly and the Wilsons. So we're sitting in Pollard's Chicken, and I remember, you know, talking to them, and I felt something that day that I can't describe until now. You know, when you meet the right people, and it's something that's so great about this. I spent years trying to find myself, trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. And everything didn't feel right. Everything didn't fit right. All at once, I meet Mr. Wilson in this thrift store, and then I went through 2 weeks trying to convince myself why I wasn't good enough for them until God said, will you just be quiet and call her? And now I'm reading this comment up here. And you get something so precious, right? And you do the first show. And man, that first show was great because it felt right. And I'm all excited because they're going to come to my house and set the stuff up at my house. And I'm like, man, they got soundboards and cables and microphones and Kelly's Choice over here and banners. And I'm excited because I can feel the inner workings of my passion coming out. The inner workings of everything I've ever wanted is right in my path. And it keeps just, the show is an hour, and I still listen to it. I have the very first show that I ever did with Let Go Radio and Kelly's Choice at the time. And it was just because it's Kelly's Choice Cares now. So the show is over, and I'm like, no, wait, it can't be over. It can't be. And I start freaking out because I know I God, what do? Oh my God, I can't stop. No, wait, please don't go. Wait, I gotta. And Mr. Wilson looked at me, he said, don't worry, we'll have you on again. But see, and then I got the OCD back here thinking, oh, well, when? Can we schedule it now? I want to find out. I got to figure it out. I got to go. I got to know. I got to. It was, I was so anxious and so fired up and so ready. I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea what God had planned for me at that moment. All I knew was I enjoyed everything about these people. And meeting these people, I dove into them. I dove into what they thought, how they felt, how they acted. I began to communicate with the Wilsons all the time. And I began to dig into it. And then we did a second show. And we didn't do the second show at the house. We did the second show on Be Live. And Mr. Wilson put us on, and Miss Wilson was there. And an hour before the show started, or a couple of days before the show started, I had applied for Food Line. And there was so much stuff that went through that Food Line week that I was supposed to start, and they wouldn't hire me, and I had to go through 3 months. They were doing a remodel, and my apartment was being remodeled, and all of this, and then Food Line went through the remodel, and this happened, and I waited 3 months, and in that third month I was losing my mind. Well, in that third month, we did the show on Wednesday. Mr. Wilson contacted me on Monday, and he said, "We'd like to offer you a radio position with Kelly's Choice. Do your own show. You can have an hour." I said, "Oh, Jesus. Wait, what? My own show? I can't go on the show for an hour, Mr. Wilson. That's too long. I'm gonna run out of stuff to say, man." And I remember September 12th. September 12th, 2016. I started the Sportsman Radio Show. And I felt something inside me explode. I was so nervous during that first show. I must have called Mr. Wilson about 20 times. I was scared to death. Now, keep in mind, I'd been on the radio before in a 5-minute spot, but I had my own show. And I'm like, this is crazy, man. I'm like, wait a minute. How is this happening? The beginning of releasing that hidden talent to walk into your true passion. This is what I'm talking about right here. I always knew that God had a plan for me to reach people. So I'm doing the sports menu, man. I'm enjoying it, man. And I'm all of a sudden, I'm starting to feel it, starting to get good, get my own intro. And every Wednesday, 2 p.m., Sports Menu Radio Show. Then I got brave. I said, "Mr. Wilson, Miss Wilson, I want to change it up a little bit. I've done 48 episodes of the Sports Menu Radio Show every week. Soccer, boxing, football, baseball, bowling, Olympics. I was talking about sports, and I was doing it, man. My brother was on the show with me. Guests were on the show with me. I started moving and grooving and shaking and baking, and things started happening. I'm like, okay, man, this is powerful." But something happened. God reached inside my soul and went, you got to get CP out there, dude. He spoke. I took that. I took that leap of faith. And it's hard when you're doing a sports show, man. It's hard because you got to stay on topic. You got to stay on task. You can enjoy yourself and you're doing what you're doing, but you got to go, man. And I was always in at 58. And next thing I know, then I would go to 59. Then they say, oh, keep going a little more. Then I would go to 102. You know, I felt real bad. First time I went over, I was like, oh my God, Miss Wilson, I messed up. Mr. Wilson, I messed up. I went over by a minute. He said, it's all right. Just try to stay calm. I said, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, I want to bring CP into my show. I want to kind of break it up a little bit. I want to do 30 minutes of sports and I want to do 30 minutes of my CP, man. And I remember I was, doing Cooking with Carter at the time, and I had just launched, Chairmaster Games, and I was into everything. Everything was going in every direction. And I came up with the title, My CP Does Not Define Me. And see, God has a plan that we don't see until we're in it. So stay with me on this, because this right here is important. This is what's going to blow your mind. I'm still training in martial arts. I'm working on opening my own dojo. The Wilsons are still in my life. I'm doing this show tearing up because I'm looking at this and I'm about to do 70 episodes of My CP Does Not Define Me. 70. I've had some of the most amazing people, and it blossomed. And I started doing 30 minutes, and I started doing 30 minutes, and I started doing 30. And I said, God pulled me. He said, get away from sports and get what you're passionate about. Let them know. Tell them what you want to do. And I finally made the decision to go full-time. My CP Does Not Define Me, and it exploded. But the craziest thing is, when I first started My CP Does Not Define Me, I started by myself. But when you start with things, now let me rephrase that. I didn't start by myself because the Wilsons and God was always with me. Let me say that. I didn't start by myself because the Wilsons and God have always been with me. Even in our worst times, the Wilsons have still been with me. And in all of this time, in all of everything that I've done, in every show, I was worried about the numbers. Numbers. How do I get them up? How do I get them up? How do I get them up? I got to get the numbers up. I got to get more people. I got to get more guests. And I would talk to Ms. Wilson hours and hours out. Ms. Wilson, I ain't getting the numbers. I ain't getting enough. She said, boy, if you don't stop worrying about them numbers and just deliver your message, and if you help one person, you're doing your job. And it really didn't click for me until year 2. Man, I'm looking at this about in September. September was 3 years. 3 years. And I'm like, I'm so blessed. I keep looking at this. And the conversations that we've talked about, and the people that we've reached out to, and the guests that we've had on My CP Does Not Define Me, when it stopped being about the numbers and started being about what was the message doing? Who was the message reaching? So I continued, and everything continued to grow. Everything continued to grow. Everything continued to evolve. The message is what's important and who you'll touch. So I was looking at this topic, man, and I'm like, when your back is against the wall, I never realized how powerful my voice was until I met these people. Because I want to dig in just a little bit more. You know, I was working with my CP for a while, and I got comfortable with it. I didn't want to do nothing but my CP, and that was it. And I remember Miss Winnie contacted me, and we were talking. And she said, DJ, you are capable of so much more. So I want you to create a blog and an Instagram and a Twitter. And I want you to get your message out there. Yes, I can, Aaron. I that's always something that I've wanted to do, something with broadcasting, but not try to do. I'll call you after the show. I'll call you after the show. Let me and I'll help you. Um, it just and see Miss Winnie took the words right out of my mouth before I could even. Whew, see that y'all gotta understand. Don't get comfortable where you are. Okay, I'm trying not to preach here, but I'm so excited, y'all. When you do something you love, see, my CP is not just a show. My CP does not define me as not just a show. My CP is a T-shirt. It's a brand. It's an idea. It is a piece of something that has been created, and now it's blossomed through Twitter, through Instagram, through blog, through YouTube. I had one YouTube. Now I'm running 3. I'm running 15 different applications. And I remember sitting there talking to Ms. Winnie. She said, I want you to do more. I want you to do this, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do this. And I said, this lady done lost her mind. I showed up. This lady, I don't have time for all this. How in the world are you going to tell me what you want me to do? How in the world do you know how much? I ain't got time for all this. And she stopped and she gave me that Miss Winnie look. She said 3 words. 3 words. Yes, you do. And I lost my mind. I mean, I'm like, what in the world is this lady talking about? And I remember the first night she said it. See, one thing about Edwina Wilson and Kelly's Choice Cares and about the Disability Global broadcast and what we're doing, when Miss Winnie puts something in your heart, she's a lot of times people will see your potential before you do. People will see what you're capable of when you're just getting in there. You're just digging in you're getting in the soil a little bit, and people know what you're capable of. That's where the thing about it is, I had no idea, and I started freaking out. And I called Miss Winnie. I said, Miss Winnie, I can't do this. I don't have time. I can't. Blah, 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 blah. We're so quick to say I don't have time for something. And I remember Miss Winnie and I talked for 2.5 hours in that conversation. And she showed me that's so true, JP. She showed me step by step. I ordered a planner, got a planner. She showed me how to break it down. She showed me how to work my schedule into my planner. I have 3 planners now, folks. I've already got my planner to 2023. And what Ms. Wilson did was she tempered it to where it wasn't like this. Okay, when you look at a situation and you're looking at 12 different things, stop looking at 12. Go from the schedule it out. There are 24 hours in a day. If you get 8 hours of sleep, that's all you need. You might need 10, and I can understand that. Some people may need 10, but that's still 10 hours. You still got 14 left. Okay, and it doesn't have to be when you post. You don't have to post big 2 hour shows or hour shows, or you can do a video. You can write about something. The point is, you got to post about what you're passionate about and get it out there. And then I started realizing how to manage my time. So then I started going, and all of this is happening while I'm going to events. And Miss Winnie is getting my name out there, and I'm going to caregivers balls and hotels and galas and CP conferences, and I'm starting to be on the radio more and more. And then we were on the radio. I think we did like not a 24-hour telethon, but like we were on the radio, all the entire day. So much so that Facebook cut us off, and we did a conference with no sleep. Miss Winnie had like 20 minutes of sleep, and on that 20 minutes of sleep, that energy she gave me, I was jacked up to the moon, and we began to work more and more and more, and she allowed me to see what was happening. So now we're here. And now we're in the presence of doing this show right now at 6:18 at 10/11/2021, 6:18 p.m. on 10/11/2021 in October. And I'm looking, and I'm doing this show live on Facebook, and I asked Miss Winnie, I said, "Can you come up?" And Miss Winnie said, "I'll watch." And at first I was like, "Why won't she come up? Miss Winnie always comes up. I need Miss Winnie to come up." So I told Miss Winnie what was on my heart. I spoke a little bit about what was on my mind. And this right here, God makes time for your passions, especially if they serve him. God paved the way for this. This whole thing, this whole blessing that I've received, it's about God using me as a vessel to deliver a message that people need to hear. See, everyone has a voice, but not everyone knows how to use it. And some are scared to speak. But you've got to start somewhere. And the only thing I can tell you, what made me tell the Steve Harvey story and then this one is, when your back is against a wall, never give up. Because if you give up and quit, you're not going to know what God has in store for you that could change your life in an instant just by going to a thrift store. God can change your life in an instant just by making it aware. She just answered the question. I knew she was gonna, but she said, "This is your message, not Edwina," and I knew you had it. Just listen to yourself. God is using you this way for you and you only. I get it now. I do, and I guess in my 68th show, which was Wednesday, I really, and I'm booked almost to December. I cannot thank God enough for this moment that I'm feeling right now. I realize this is a show. I realize everybody has your back up against the wall. There's the time where Your back is against the wall, but it's what you do in that moment with what you have and the passion that you have. Because one thing I have learned about life, you cannot do a job for a long period of time if there's not passion in it. You can make ends meet, you can make things happen, but you cannot do a job for a long period of time if your passion and your heart is not in it. I've been able to talk, I'm pretty sure, since I was in the womb. I've been talking a long time. But see, now my voice has a direction. My voice has a purpose. My voice has a chance to reach all over the world because I was given an opportunity to let my voice be heard. I was given an opportunity to share my message, to talk about what I know, to talk about what God had placed on my heart. And He laid it in place, stone by stone by stone, by brick by brick by brick. Once I got Edwina in my life, and once I got Mr. Wilson in my life, and once I got Kelly in my life, I did not know it was for a lifetime until God bridged that to me. God gave me that opportunity, and I'm so, 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 so thankful because realizing this, I I I have a choice. I can talk about what is on my mind. I gotta keep it clean, but I can talk about it and I can make people laugh and I can reach them and relate to them and bring them in and not only have a chance to share my story, but to share theirs. And then somebody else can relate and begin to mold that connection, you see? See, that's all we're looking for is a connection. To see and understand that we're not alone and that people get it. But and it's people like my supporters and my viewers that watch every day, like Cindy and Miss Wilson and Mr. Wilson and Christina and Kyle and all of our group members that are supportive and you gotta understand that we all we have to do is speak up. Give yourself a chance. Give credit to yourself. Let your voice be heard. All you got to do is take that step. I remember how scared I was that first moment because I enjoyed the Sports Menu Radio show. I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. But there was more that God had planned. I didn't know it at that time. I didn't know that My CP Does Not Define Me was going to become a brand. I did not know that it was going to have its own YouTube channel. I did not know that 68 shows were going to show guests to share their stories and reach people all over the world. I did not know that I was going to go to conferences and galas and all these places and speak. God had all that in store. And the best is yet to come. So for those of you that are sitting out there right now trying to accomplish your dreams, and your back is against the wall, go forward. Go forward. Because when your back is against the wall, there's nowhere else to go but forward. And it starts with your first step. I just, I really um, was hoping that I could figure this out before this hour was over with. And I'm like, well, this time was over with. But it's hard because when I realized why God wanted me to go back to that Steve Harvey story. I realized why. And Miss Winnie said it when she was talking to me. Sometimes God wants to stir something up in you that you forgot. Sometimes you need to be reassured or refilled or you got to retake a look at where you're at. No matter how many times they tell you you can't or you won't, I'm here to tell you you can and you will. If I can do it, if I can conquer my fear and let my voice be heard all over the world, you can too. Go for your dreams. Go with gusto. Do it in fear. Because the point is, if you don't, somebody else is going to step up and take your spot. You wait too long, and somebody else is going to do it. Let your dream be your reality right now, today. I'm going to end with this. A lot of people will talk about things they want to do. But I am here to tell you, I'm not talking about the things I want to do. I'm doing the things I want to do. Because you only live once. But you get a chance every day to make a difference, not only with yourself, but with the others around you. And when you have passion in your heart and God in your corner, anything is possible. But you got to put in the effort to make it happen because things are not going to be handed to you. I had to work for this. And I had to go through those tough times and those tribulations. And there's probably still more I'm going to have to go through. I'm I'm still going to have to go through. But you know what? I'm not alone. And I've got people in my corner that can guide. Now notice I said guide. Can't do it for you. They can't do it for you. But they can push you in the right direction. Sometimes we all need a kick in the butt. And that's okay. That's okay. And if you don't know the answer right now, it doesn't mean you can't figure it out. So understand that if you want it bad enough, you can get it. You can accomplish your dreams. I love this right here. One of the hardest lessons I learned was that you cannot wait for things to happen to you. You have to make them happen. So true. God is always with you through the tough times. That's true, Cindy. He is. Because when your back is against the wall, you either push, quit, or move. That's plain and simple right there, y'all. Take a chance and make it happen today. Guys, if you want to check us out, we are the Disability Global Broadcast LLC. It's disabilityglobalbroadcast.com. Click on Listen Live. You can hear me every Wednesday at 2 p.m. for My CP Does Not Define Me. If you're interested in being a guest, if you're interested in being on the show, contact me through Messenger, contact me through email, carterdj85@gmail.com. Please put uh, in the email subject radio guest. Please send me a picture and a bio about yourself so that I know when I call you kind of what we can talk about. I will interview you first on the phone. I'm not just going to put you on the show because you say you want to be up there. I got to do some kind of screening. Crazy people out here in this world. I ain't going to let just anybody get up here because they think they can. This is important. So if you want to make it happen, if you want a chance to tell your story, and don't wait. Stop waiting. You've been waiting for so long. You got to get out there and get it done. Stop being scared of everything. Stop complaining about everything. Make it happen. You want to change? You want something to be better in your life? Change it. Go after it. Go for it. You got to get it done. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Twitter. It's twitter.com at Minion Sports. My CP does not define me at Minion Sports. That's from the Sports Minion Radio Show. Check me out on Instagram. My CP does not define me. Check me out on blog, CarterDJ85 at Wix.com. Check me out on YouTube, Chairmaster Games. My CP does not define me. And Worth the Wait, Cooking with DJ Carter. Okay, I've got t-shirts. Guys, if you want t-shirts, I've got my CP is over 9,000. I've got Worth the Wait Cooking with DJ Carter. I'm getting a Chairmaster Game t-shirt made. Look, we in the CP community, we in the community with disabilities, we have to stick together. We have to fight for what we want. You have to make things happen. Nothing is going to be handed to you. You're not going to get it on a silver platter. But if you work hard and you believe in it and you want it and you're passionate about it, you can get through it. Because when your back is against the wall, you either push, quit, or move. The choice is yours. Check us out on the Disability Global Broadcast LLC. The Disability Global Broadcast.com and Kelly's Choice Cares LLC. Go check it out. If you haven't checked out Kelly's Choice Cares, please go do so. Do so. Phenomenal organization. Email Miss Wilson. Talk with her. Let her know your story. Chico contacted me as well. Trust me, we right there. I talk to her about it every day. Sometimes I talk to her twice a day. Sometimes I talk to her too much. But I'm just saying, you got to get out there. Let's see. Oh my goodness! If you're interested in hosting your own radio show, uh, yep. Text it to DJ. He will guide you in the right direction. I will get you. Trust me. We'll get you to where you need to be. And I'm glad to do that. And I actually am so glad that y'all came up here. Thank you, Miss Wilson, for being up here with me. I appreciate it. And we all know quitting is not an option. You know, let me say this before I end it. If you quit, what do you accomplish? Because if you quit, I want you to think about this. If you quit, what are you doing? What are you accomplishing? Because you're in the same spot you've already been in. I've earned so many chances with these guys, and it's just I love them so much for all the things that they have helped me with. Guys, make your dreams come true today. Get out there and make something happen. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Three Amigos. You can check the Talking Topics with the Three Amigos. You can check us out on Monday at 5:30 on Facebook Live. Again, My CP Does Not Define Me is on every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys are interested in being a guest, please feel free to email me, contact me on Messenger. I will get back to you. Y'all got to be a little bit patient because I got a lot more messages than I used to. So y'all, I will get back to you though. Thank y'all so much. for being here. I love y'all. If y'all can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with the roll away, saying I'll see you when I see you. Always, always, always look forward to the future because you can't change the past. All right, y'all take it easy. Be good to yourselves and each other. Take care, everybody.